Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 22 here on the PS5. It's back with our HAAS playthrough. We're at race 6 heading to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. Well, what a stream we had last night. The conclusion of our Williams stream, Williams Season 2. If you haven't seen that yet, do go back and watch that. The constructors' battle that we were locked in with Ferrari went down to the closing laps of the final race of the season. I won't spoil the result, but yeah, it's definitely one you should check out. A fantastic race. Williams is going to be taking a little bit of a break for a week or two now. So we've got a couple more episodes of HAAS for this week. We've got tonight, tomorrow. Then we're going to do Aston Martin on Friday. We'll probably do Aston Martin again on Monday. I might do 3 episodes of HAAS next week. I might do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll do Aston Martin again on Friday. And then the week after that, we'll bring Williams back for Season 3. But it's time to focus in on this particular race. As you can see, so far we have been utterly dominant in this season here with our lineup of Alonso and Magnussen. Maximum points from all 5 races so far. We are first and second in the Drivers' Championship. As you can see, Magnussen just has the edge over Alonso with 3 wins to 2. But we have taken a 1-2 at every race so far this season. However, the new patch has gone live. That went live yesterday, and we sort of saw the first effects of that patch in our Williams stream. It will be harder for DRSing. That may potentially come into play in this career path where our car has been so dominant at the start here. It may make things a little bit tougher. Plus, you know, potentially if we see a safety car, we could see cars unlapping. That could play an interesting part with more traffic suddenly appearing back in front of us again when it comes to moving through the field. Yeah, all sorts of things that we can that could affect how this has been going so far. So let's have a quick recap as to where we are. Good to see you, Marcel. Let's see, in terms of our car performance, there you can see we are mighty fast. We have extremely good top speed, not quite the best, but second best car on the grid in terms of top speed, best acceleration, best in cornering, best in DRS, best in dirty air. Brakes and engine, not too far off being really good. Very, very strong car indeed. We'll take a look at Ferrari. You can see there they're a bit slower than us in terms of speed. Their cornering, is particularly high-speed cornering, is pretty far off, although they are strong in low and medium speed. And again, with dirty air, you can see a little bit behind in the high speed. Their brake cooling is also not so good, but they are very good in engine cooling. Let's take a look at Red Bull. Red Bull fastest in terms of top speed, but their acceleration not so good. Their cornering speeds, though, look how way off they are with their cornering speeds. So Red Bull, less of a threat at the moment than Ferrari. Ferrari are certainly closer to us than Red Bull are. If we have a look at the overview for this particular circuit, you can see there's a mixture of all sorts of cornering here, medium, high and low speed cornering. Lucky for us, we are very good in all 3 areas. But in terms of the low and medium speed, Ferrari are going to be very competitive through those corners, as we saw. And set our performance targets, given how good our car is and how dominant we've been, we can't do anything other than try and go for 1-2s really. In terms of our sponsor guarantees. There we go. We do have 2 streaks going at the moment. A quali streak, 1 car in the top 8. That'll be easy. We only have to do that 1 more time. Finish position, 2 in the top 4 for 5 races. We've done 2 already. 3 more to go on that one.
Formula One has cranked up the heat over Barcelona. The first Grand Prix held here was won by Nigel Mansell after a wheel-to-wheel battle with Ayrton Senna. But who will follow in his footsteps this weekend? Long straights and medium-speed turns dominate here, but there's something else to watch out for at Barcelona. The air currents are strong and unpredictable, and they'll be giving aerodynamic components a real run for their money this weekend. We might still be early in the season, but that doesn't mean we can sit back and relax. Everything is up for grabs, and nothing is certain at this stage. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Alright, glasses on, I can see clearly now. We are looking at very, very good weather this weekend. Clear skies on Friday and Sunday. A little cloudy on Saturday, but no threat of rain. Let's see, who are we going to put in the reserve car? Let's take Alonso out. Actually, no, this is the Spanish Grand Prix. That'd be sacrilege to take Alonso out, wouldn't it? Let's take Kevin out. Let's check our components. Our engine, 52%. That's not too bad. 54 for the other car. ERS modules, both fine. Gearboxes, we've got a 36% gearbox and a 38. Obviously we're leaving those in for practice, but we'll switch those out for the race. I might leave these engines in for the race as well. We'll see how it goes. If we can get through this race using these engines, that would be awesome. In terms of car setup, I have a few to choose from. Let's go with a 14 rear wing. Let's start off with a 914 7.3 3.3 and a 0.85. Okay, let's see how Fernando likes that. We're going to go with 21 laps of fuel. And for Logan / Kevin, we'll try an 8.5, 14, in fact, actually I think I might have made a mistake on the other setup. I did, I actually mixed up two different setups. There we go. So we'll change that to an 8.5. I got halfway down the list and started looking at the wrong setup. So for this one here, we're going to go with a 9, a 14, a 6.4, a 3.45, and a 1. There we go. So a couple of different variations there. Again, 21 laps of fuel, drop the pace, and into practice we go.
And radio check when you can.
Radio check.
An early lock up there for Logan. Not ideal.
And that's the lock-up.
Let's have a quick look actually at his pace, see how far off he is to Alonso. And again, we saw he was pretty close to Magnussen last time out when we put him in the car. You can see he's not too far off Alonso. It's going to be very different this lap because he had his lock-up. But let's keep an eye on his pace next lap. So this lap here. Let's see what he does at the end of this lap. He's got a little bit of traffic behind him, which might affect his cornering a little bit. Alonso's in some clear air, but this is a good chance for us to assess where Logan sits in terms of outright pace against our current two drivers. We know he's close to Kevin. How close is he to Alonso? He should be close to Alonso, given that Alonso and Kevin are both pretty close to each other. A 122.7 for Alonso. A 123.0, but with cars swarming all over the back of him for Logan. I'm pretty confident with that. I'm pretty comfortable. Yeah, Logan is progressing very nicely. When he gets in the car next year, he's going to be quick. We've still got a long way to go this season to get his stats up even higher, and also to help develop him more as a more well-rounded driver. It's not just about boosting his pace stats, we need to boost his consistency as well. So that means improving his smoothness, improving his control. We could also look at maybe trying to improve his adaptability, so he's a little bit more pacey in the wet, because I'm not sure whether that's a particularly good stat or not for him.
Update when you can.
So we get a 94 for Logan there. Okay, let's call him in. Oh, and now he's run wide.
Oh, big lock up there.
So you can see, yeah, he is making
Let's
a
take
couple of
closer
mistakes.
look. Now just focus on the HAAS. Just a bit too heavy on the brakes, and they've locked up.
And these are the areas that we need to, try and support him. Oh, he's damaged the underfloor. And that's a brand new underfloor as well. Okay, that's a little frustrating. We should have a spare, which we will fit on the car for FP2. But it means I might have to manufacture another one. We'll try and get through the rest of the weekend without making another one if we can. Let's see, where do we need to make the tweaks? Let's do that with the camber there. Let's do that with the front wing. There we go. So a couple of minor little tweaks should keep everything close enough to not really affect what doesn't want to be affected, I hope. Let's give that a go. Still waiting for feedback from Alonso. There it is. 87%. That's not too bad. As we send Logan back out. And let's call Fernando in now. Okay, so the rear wing is not good, so that's going to be a 14.5 then, I think. So we need to try and convert this to one of my 14.5 setups. Let's see what we're running in terms of roll bar 7.3. I don't have a 14.5 rear wing with a 7.3 roll bar. The closest I have is going to be an 8.2. So let's see if we can convert this to a 3.2. Sorry, to an 8.2. So 8.5, 14.5, 8.2, 3.10 and 0.5. Needs some tweaking. Let's go 3.2 and 0.7. And that might be good. We'll go with that. So let's turn that car around. and send him back out on his way. Let's take another look at last lap times for these guys. Actually, they're on different wear rate of tyres now. You can see, well, it's only 3%, it's not horrific. Let's have a look at their last lap time. 1:23.1 and a 1:23.3. Yeah, so again, less than a couple of tenths. That's encouraging. Alonso is a great barometer for judging our young talent as well, because he is such a well-rounded driver. And again, you know, he's less than 2/10 off the pace of Alonso, with slightly worse tyres as well. So, yeah, I'm very happy with that. Alright, there we go. We got the car to 100% for Logan, so we can call him in now. Save a little bit of wear on the car so that it's not wearing out Kevin's car too quickly. And now we just need to wait for Alonso to finish his feedback run. So a little tweak needed, but very, very close. Let's call Alonso in. And there we go, that's our FP1 done. Just wait for the cars to come back through the grids. There we go. So a very good, very useful session there. A good assessment of Logan again. Like I said, by the end of this season, he's going to be a mighty prospect for next season when we do put him in the car. And then it's a question of who do we take out? Do we take out Kevin? Do we take out Fernando? I'm not quite sure which way to go on that yet. I guess we'll see. I suppose we keep whichever one wins the World Championship. If we keep this kind of pace and performance going, that would be the fairest thing. We're pretty hard on whoever comes second, but you know, can't please everybody. Right, let's try that little tweak and then pull that back. Is that going to be enough? I think that's going to be enough. We'll try that. We've got plenty of time. So we're going to go with a 20 lap run. Actually, no, wait, we need to do a little bit more than that. Let's go 25 laps. Is that going to be enough? 28 laps. Just going to try and get away with just doing one run for Fernando in this session. Yep, pace is set. Kevin, he's got a lot of running to do because he needs his track knowledge, so he's going to be on a 42 lap run. And away we go.
Radio check.
Radio's good.
There we go. Right, let's Let's see what happens. Obviously, we can't really do time comparisons between our two drivers this time because they are running massively different fuel loads, over 20 kilos of extra fuel in Kevin's car. Oh, I forgot to check how many spare underfloors I've got left. I don't think I have a spare now. So if we damage one today or in FP3, then we're going to have to emergency manufacture another one for quali in the race and then hope we don't damage it in quali. Yeah, this could end up being quite an expensive weekend.
Oh, we've had a spin.
Because I think a new underfloor is going to cost me 750,000 to go on an emergency manufacture. They're not cheap. A little wobble for Alonso there.
They've gone wide. Let's see what happened there. Now watch this. Here's Alonso's car. They're
That's
way
not too
off
bad.
the racing line.
Please tell me he didn't damage the underfloor on that sausage curb coming back on the track. Doesn't look like it. No, he didn't. Thank God for that. Setup confidence 97%, so we only gained 1%, so we need to move the marker a little bit more. So we'll look at maybe doing 2 runs in FP3. Obviously we know Kevin's at 100%. When I get Alonso up to about 70-75%, we'll call him in. Actually, we'll just let him finish this run. That'll be fine. How is Kevin doing? He's up to 33%. He should be at around 60 by the end of the session. Right, let's take a look at Alonso's setup. We did break the front wing ever so slightly there. What did we move? We moved the camber, didn't we? And the front wing, actually. I think. Did we move the front wing? No, we didn't. We moved this. And then we moved the toe as well twice. So we were there. So I'm just looking which way the front wing has gone. Okay, so that has to go back there, I think. I don't think the toe has any impact. It doesn't. Front wing will have a slight impact. If I'm wary of disturbing the straights, you see. If we tried that and then go back with the camber, that tweaks the front wing, and then I'm not quite sure which way I need to move the front wing. I think let's try that. I think I might actually do more damage to the car than good there, but we'll see. I get the feeling this is going to be one of those setups where I try and chase it too much. 97% will be okay. And before we do go back out on the track, Let's have a look at car parts. Minor wear to the gearbox, that's fine. Underfloor. Oh, I do still have a spare underfloor. Okay, that's good. That's good. So let's send out... Actually, no, I didn't want to send out Alonso, did I? Let's call him in. Up to 91% now on car part knowledge, thanks to the running we've done so far. We can probably get that up to about 95, 96% before the end of the end of practice. Now we've got one more session to go. And there we go, that's practice done for us for FP2. So a good run there. 59% track knowledge for Kevin. That's good. 75%. That gives us enough flexibility for one or two runs there for Fernando.
We return for the next day of our highly anticipated race weekend, which sees the end of practice and the start of qualifying. By the end of the day, we'll know who's leading at the front, who's packing out the midfield, and who's bringing up the rear. All 20 drivers competing will be pushing their cars to the limit, pushing themselves to the limit too. But if they can push beyond those limits, well, the very best find themselves mounting a challenge.
Fernando standing next to the world's smallest pit crew there, because every single one of them is smaller than Fernando. He's one of the shortest drivers on the grid. Okay, let's switch to medium tyres for this session. With Fernando, we're going to go with 19 laps of fuel. We might not even need that many just to get the feedback. With Kevin, we are going to go with 30 laps of fuel. One single run. That should be all he needs to get up to 100% on his track knowledge. Here we go.
And radio check.
Radio's good.
Once again, we can't really compare times between these two drivers for this session because, again, different fuel loads. About, 15, 16, 17 laps worth of fuel. Well, sorry, 17 kilos of fuel difference between the two cars. Let's wait for the feedback from Fernando. Kevin's run should just about hit 100% as he finishes the run. And there we go, we got 100%. Excellent stuff. So I I'm going to try and extend this stint so it runs just over the half hour. Probably should have put an extra lap or two of fuel in just in case. This might be a little bit of a struggle, we'll see. Have I got enough fuel to get it past the half hour? Just, but it's not going to be. Well, it might be. Yeah, I'm going to be controversial here. I'm going to ignore for a lap and hope he's got enough fuel to get round and do one more lap. Let's give him battery to help. Right, now we'll call him in. Good evening, Mr. Water. Good to see you. Can we get Fernando back to the pits before he runs out of fuel? It's going to be mighty close, look. I think we might just about make it. It's going to be tight. He might actually run out of fuel halfway down the pit lane. Oh, he just makes it. Oh, that was close. But we achieved everything we needed to do. Oh, no, he ran out of fuel. He has retired. But we still achieved everything we needed to do. We got him up to 100% track knowledge. We got him up to 100% setup confidence. And, more importantly, we also got him the full 30 minutes of running in the session so that he gets the full XP for this session. So it's just as well we don't need him to go out anymore because he can't. He did run out of fuel in the pit lane. I get the feeling that because you can't actually stop in the pit lane, yeah, that would just, well, in real life I suppose you could, but in the game that would be really difficult to do. I get the feeling that what they do is they just, if you run out of fuel in the pit lane, it just automatically drives you into the box, you know, into the garage, and then that's the retirement at that point. So even though we actually retired halfway down the pit lane, or at the beginning of the pit lane, because it wouldn't stop the car there, because that would completely mess up the pit mechanics for the game. It just automatically transitioned us straight into the box, into the garage, and then retired us. Ricardo running wide there. Looks like he had a little lock up at turn 4. Sorry, turn 5. Kevin is done. Both our drivers are good enough. Actually, Kevin needs a little bit more. I should have left him out for an extra lap. We'll give him, because our car part knowledge isn't quite there, I will give him another couple of laps just to get his practice up to 100% for track knowledge. Let's see, actually, does he oh, he has the bonus, so I don't need to do that. He has the full 15 points. So, good practice. Got everything we needed to get done.
Someone's run wide.
Now it's time for qualifying, and then let's see
Sounds
how
like
we
we've
can
had a
do
spin.
with race pace. Where's Hamilton's lap time? Oh, I see. It's exactly the same as Leclerc's. That's why it's not showing it. That's weird. It would normally show zeros, but it's not for Hamilton for some reason there. Okay, so I'm not sure what our pace is going to be like with these engines. You can see this one's actually now just dipped into minor damage. That will affect acceleration. I think, given that it is going to be harder to do DRS overtaking, I might play it safe and put new engines in for the race itself. But we're going to do Q1 with the older engine, just to see if we can actually qualify well with these engines. And if we can't, we should at least get through Q1. We'll swap them out for Q2.
And radio check when you can.
Radio's good.
So, let's see, how do we do with the old engines? What kind of pace can we set? If we're not faster than Latifi, I'm going to be extremely worried. Alonso looking faster than Kevin in Sector 1 and Sector 2. And takes provisional pole. Maybe the home fans, that home circuit feeling, giving Alonso that little edge this week. It's early days, it's only one run. Let's see what the rest of the field can do. Oh wow, Perez is way off the pace. He must have been held up with traffic. Gasly 0.6 of a second off. Sainz 0.4 off. Leclerc over 2.5 off. Verstappen also a way off. Again, he must have been held up with traffic. Alright, everyone's going to get a clean run here, so let's see what they do. Verstappen is actually behind Stroll. That might affect Verstappen here. Gets him up to 6th. They possibly could have gone a little bit quicker. No improvement from the Ferraris. Where does Perez end up? In 10th. Wow, 9/10 off. So these engines will work, it would seem, for this race. Excellent. We'll keep them going. I mean, this is what we've been planning to do, because we've been looking after them through the first 5 races, trying to stretch them to at least to here. So let's go into Q2. Let's put on some scrub tyres. I'd send out Kevin first this time. Mr. Waters, really looking forward to the next gen upgrade of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Never completed it on PS4. We'll go through it again on PS5. Yeah, I'm curious about that. I tried to get into it when it came out, and I couldn't. And then I tried again about a year later, and I just couldn't get into it. But it was combat. The combat just felt alien to me. I struggled with it. I do need to go back and... I never played more than about 3-4 hours of the story, I don't think. So at some point I am going to have to go back and give that game another try, I think. Same with Horizon Zero Dawn. I just couldn't get into that either. I tried, and I mean, those are the sort of games that I normally really enjoy, you know, compelling narrative, story-driven single-player games, and I just, for whatever reason, I couldn't get into it. You know, I mean, it was okay, but it didn't grab me the way that games like The Last of Us and God of War grabbed me. It just couldn't keep my attention. When I played Fallout 4, I was so hooked on that I just played it non-stop for the first, you know, as soon as it came out, and I had a platinum within 2 weeks. You know, I adored that game. But with Horizon, again, it was one of those games that I just couldn't get into for whatever reason. I think it was the combat. I just couldn't get my head around it. Once again, Alonso has a slight edge over Kevin. Kevin has cleared the Alfa Romeo though. Alonso yet to come up against that. That might slow his time down a bit. I would expect Kevin to win the third sector here. Yes, he does. But Alonso still manages to take pole position on a provisional basis. Okay, interesting. No one going out on fresh tyres for that first run there. We should see some here though. Yeah, everyone who's going out is going out on fresh tyres. And everyone's going to get a nice clean run as well. No one's going to get held up. So let's see what everyone can do when they're pushing on fresh tyres now. Oh, someone has had a wobble. It's one of the Alfa Romeos. Bottas. That's going to screw up a lot of people's times. Okay, so the Alphas are both out. The McLarens are out of both Alphas as a result of that. Albon goes out in 13th. I think he could potentially have gone a little bit faster. Maybe. I mean, it's only a minor improvement over his other sector. You can see Norris might have been held up slightly, as might have been Ricciardo. They're actually slower than they were in Q1. Obviously Bottas much slower. Definitely held himself up there. improvement for Perez, but he's still 9th. Ocon improved, he's 10th. Alpine, Gasly about the same. Hamilton actually slightly slower, might have been the yellow flag. About the same for Verstappen, slightly better for Russell. The Ferraris looking a little bit quicker, well, Sainz was, not Charles. And we actually went quicker despite being on scrubs. That is very promising for Q3. So we're going to try and race with these worn engines. They do seem to have enough pace in them still. Might be a different story if we run with worn gearboxes as well, but...
Did somebody spin out there?
We want to try and get through this season with as few penalties as possible. Ideally none. It's something I've never done actually. I've never gone through a season without taking any penalties. I've always deliberately taken penalties to give myself an engine advantage at the end of the season. It's something I want to try and avoid doing this season if I can. Okay, Leclerc hanging back a little bit. Right, let's send out Kevin and then Fernando. And it is the Spanish Grand Prix, so we are going to ride on board with Fernando as he sets his flying lap. Hometown hero, gunning for pole, has had the edge over Magnussen all race weekend so far. Can he do it when it matters? Magnussen goes purple in the first sector, and he's faster than Alonso. This is the biggest gap we've actually had between our two drivers so far in qualifying in terms of track position. Let's see if that maybe plays a factor. Alonso has got the slightly worse engine than Kevin. I don't think Kevin's has not yet dipped into the 50%, below 50% yet. Another purple. Yeah, Magnussen, it looks like he's going to steal pole here from Fernando. But again, it's going to be very close, I think. So Kevin goes pole with a 1:17.4, and Alonso 34 thousandths of a second behind in second. Very, very close again between these two. It's going to be another humdinger of a race battle between these two. Leclerc third, Sainz fourth, Hamilton 5th, Verstappen in 6th, Russell 7th, Gasly 8th, Perez down in 9th, and Ocon rounds out the top 10 there.
The time has come to fight it out. It's race day.
The big winners of qualifying was certainly HAAS. Now it's on them to demonstrate that they can finish strongly in the race as well. We saw a solid qualifying performance from Ferrari, and they're sure to have their chance to push even further during the race. And the weather is sunny here today, apart from a few clouds. Let's hope they remain scattered on the horizon.
Well, Formula One is back in Barcelona, and the teams have got their work cut out for them.
Okay. Strategy-wise, we are going with a soft, medium, soft. We could go for a one-stop, but I'd like the extra tyre grip to push if we need to. We're going to keep the strategy pretty much default here. No real need to tweak it. We've got 2 sets of new soft tyres for both drivers. Actually, let me just have a look, just out of interest. How much slower would that be? 15 seconds, yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, we are going to take a lap of fuel out for both cars. There we go. We are going to save the ERS for the first lap and then see how we do. Let's go into the race weekend.
Quite a few clouds overhead as we look at the lineup on the grid. There we see Kevin Magnussen. They're in P1. Let's see if they can take advantage of that position. And here's Alonso, the team's second driver. A second place start for them today. They're in with a real chance. And we're just moments away now. This is it. It's the Spanish Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
So I noticed a weird visual bug which I'm going to try and highlight when I get an opportunity on the HAAS cars. They both have the same number on the front of them. They both have the number 20, which is Magnussen's number. I actually, just for messing around, I actually started a save file. Well, I say save file, I didn't actually save it, but I just started a new career with HAAS and I actually got rid of Magnussen and Schumacher. And both cars still have number 20 on the nose. So I want to check whether that's here as well, whether Alonso is running with 20 on the front. If so, I'm not quite sure why that would be. So yeah, there we can see Alonso with number 20 on the nose, obviously number 14 on the red rear flash there. If we take a look at Magnussen, looking at the wrong car, there we go. There you can see Magnussen is number 20, so that's what's on the nose of the car and also on the side flash. Alonso has number 20 on the nose and then number 14 on the rear flash. It is a weird bug in the updated HAAS livery that no matter who's driving the car, every single HAAS car is going to have number 20 on the front of it. It's a little annoying, but there you can just about see a number 20 below the blue one-on-one logo there on the front nose. It's hard to tell with the light, but it is there. So I don't know if I don't know how that didn't get picked up by QA, but yeah, I don't know if anyone's actually really noticed it. I mean, like I said, I only noticed it a few days ago. And then, as I say, yesterday or the day before, I did that little test to see whether or not I could actually, whether it would affect the car with Magnussen not in there. And yeah, even without Kevin Magnussen in the team, it still puts a number 20 on the car. Very strange. Okay, so now we're going to sprint.
So deployed.
Copy.
And we want to break the DRS to Leclerc. We've got half a lap, just over half a lap, until DRS becomes a factor. So it activates now, but not on this straight, this lap. It'll be on the back straight between turns 9 and 10 that we first use it. Verstappen's dropped back to 7th. Perez has gained a place to 8th. So we're running, well, I was about to say we're running 2 by 2, and then Hamilton immediately overtakes Sainz. But we were running 2 HAAS, 2 Ferrari, 2 Mercedes, 2 Red Bulls, 2 Alpines for a second then. And every time I say 2 by 2, I can't help but immediately think 2 by 2 hands of blue. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Firefly.
At the moment, we are the fastest car on track.
And that line just sticks in my head. And every time I say the words 2 by 2 in my head, I immediately say hands of blue. For those of you that have seen Firefly, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you that haven't, go watch it. It's a fantastic show. Alright, so let's see what pace we do at the end of this lap compared to Leclerc. Again, if we can protect the engines a little bit, we will. If we can get through Monaco, which is the next race, using these engines as well, that'll set us up beautifully for Baku. Someone has spun. Not sure who that is yet. Oh, it's Gasly. Gasly spun.
Now look at this. It's Pierre Gasly. What a spin out!
And that's going to drop him all the way to the back of the field. He's going to wait for everyone to go through before he can rejoin the track.
The team are devastated. They'll be questioning just what happened out there.
And yeah, there he is, way at the back of the field now. So we're doing 123s, low 123s, mid 123 for Leclerc. So let's try dropping the pace down a block.
We should slow down.
Copy that.
We should have a tyre advantage as well. Yes, we do. We're using brand new tyres. AI using tyres that did one run in quali. And we'll have a look at the pace difference as we cross the line this time. You can see we're not doing endless DRS swapping. Alonso might have a run here, but you can see it's taking him the entire straight to make the pass. with the reduction in DRS strength there. We're now lapping about the same pace as the Ferraris by dropping the tyre pace down a little bit. That's okay. I'm comfortable with that. Like I said, if we can protect these engines enough in this race to make them work and still be competitive at Monaco as well, that'll be awesome to get through 7 races in the 22 race season using just the one engine. Normally I would have put a fresh engine in for this one and just walked the race, but we've had such a competitive start to the season and we've protected the engine so much that we should still win this. We should still get a 1-2, I hope. Someone has gone wide. That might be one of the Red Bulls, I think.
We've just had a car.
Oh no, it was Gasly again.
Let's have a look. Okay, so there we have the Alpine. They've taken that far too wide, and now they're paying the price.
He's having a rough start to this race. And there again you can see it takes the entire back straight, or the entire start-finish straight, to make the pass with DRS. The reduction in its effectiveness certainly is evident. And don't forget, we are number 1 in DRS speed and acceleration on the grid right now. So if it's taking us that long to make a pass under DRS, it's going to be harder for the AI to make those passes. And don't forget, dirty air cornering has also been, or dirty air performance has also been reduced as well. The effect of dirty air has also been increased. So again, we're in a pretty strong position with this car because we lead the field in our dirty air cornering. So we should be able to run closer than some of the AI can. And we are seeing the field starting to fragment a little bit. Leclerc has broken away from Sainz and Hamilton and Russell. The two Red Bulls have dropped back and then split from each other as well. Ocon trying to stay with Perez. Albon is leading a little gap where Gasly used to be. And Gasly, despite having a much better car than those Williams, is struggling to make the pass. This is kind of more like what we're used to seeing at Barcelona. This is probably going to make Monaco, this update is probably going to make Monaco very tough to overtake indeed. It might be even more processional than it can be. Which is another reason why I really want to try and get these engines in there as well. If we can qualify well first and second, and then hold up the rest of the field, we can control the race a lot more easily than we would normally be able to. Still not lapping that much faster than the Ferraris. I would like to have dropped the engine pace down a bit more, the tyre pace down a bit more, but I don't want to give Leclerc a chance to close in. So we'll leave it like this for now. Let's take a look down the order a little bit. Oh, someone's locked up. It's Leclerc. Leclerc has just locked up in a big way. Oh, and that's going to cost him so much time And he's going to get stuck behind the massive train that's going through as well.
Let's take a look at the replay. Watch this. There's Leclerc. That lockup could have cost them dearly.
No!
And that was a bitter blow for the team.
Okay, now we could maybe
And it
think
may
about
have
potentially
really
dropping
hurt
our pace
their
down a little
overall
bit.
chances.
Well, Sainz and Hamilton is still lapping about the same pace we are, but we've got a 6.5 second lead now, so let's try it for a lap or two. We can always increase it again if we need to. Yeah, Leclerc dropped all the way down to 15th now. Let's keep an eye on him as he tries to fight his way through. Gasly is still stuck behind the two Williams and the two Aston Martins. You can see them coming up behind here. Just can't make the move. He's on medium tyres. Latifi's on softs. That might be why he can't get through. I'm looking at the running order and I'm wondering if Mercedes are up there because of actual pace or if it's just they're hanging on to the slipstream of DRS's sights that's allowing them to stay ahead of the two Red Bulls here. We never actually looked at their car performance. Might be they brought a significant upgrade for this race. We'll have to have a look when we get back to HQ after the race. Do a breakdown of their car analysis. Take another look at tyres. Oh, they're on softs against medium. Ah, that'll be why then. We'll still do the look at their car performance breakdown as well, just out of curiosity, see where they are. Sainz should have an advantage over them. A's got a faster car and B's got much better tyres at this point in the race as well. And still Gasly can't get past the cars in front. Latifi and Tsunoda have swapped places. Gasly's still stuck behind them. You can see Leclerc is just eating up the tarmac on those softs right now. He's closed in quite quickly on the back of Stroll and he's pulled out, what, 3 seconds on Schumacher over that last lap. Magnussen's engine has now dipped below 50%, so he will also have the same acceleration modifier that Alonso has. There you can see a minor reduction in acceleration for both drivers now. So that kind of levels out their performance difference again. And Stroll has just dipped. Oh, no. Has he got back in? Yeah, he's just got back in. Oh, we've got a McLaren running wide. That's Norris.
Is that a lockup?
But that little run wide has cost Stroll. It's dropped him out of DRS range. Leclerc's not going to make the pass. But it should make it easier for him to get past Stroll now. He has got tyres that are more worn, so that will go against him. Little jink there, trying to sell a dummy. Is he going to go around the outside? Trying to find a way through. Good run through turn 9, gets the positioning, uses DRS and gets through to the inside of turn 10. Leclerc moves up to 13th and can now set about going after the two Alfa Romeos. We're holding the gap to Sainz quite close at about the same kind of pace. That's encouraging. Gasly still can't do anything about the cars in front. I wonder if he damaged his car. Did he damage his underfloor? He only had a spin. He didn't have a... I think it was only a spin. I don't think it was a lock-up going over a curve. So that shouldn't have caused damage. It might just be the DRS, is making it impossible for him to actually get the overtake done. But he is really struggling right now. And Latifi's tyres starting to drop off. He's in danger of actually dropping off the back of the two Aston Martins here. Yeah, all over the back of Yuki, just cannot find a way through. Leclerc has just passed Bottas. And now we have a yellow flag second. Oh, that's the other Alpine. That's Ocon.
They've lost control and spun! Here's the replay. Now have a watch of this. Looks like Ocon. And that spin is undoubtedly going to cost them time.
He kept it out of the wall, just.
And And the team had such high hopes today. What a shame.
So Alpine were running 9th and 10th. Now they are running way down, 15th and 20th. What an absolute disaster for Alpine so far this weekend. Okay, Sainz is starting to close in now. We still have a lead. What's the tyre wear looking like? It's not that bad actually. But I think Sainz is coming under less pressure from Hamilton and Russell as their tyres are fading. So that might be why he's closing in. He's not having to drive as defensively. Still, Gasly has not found a way through. I'm surprised by this. I mean, we know how good a driver Gasly is. He's just won the World Championship with us in our Season 2 Williams file. But yeah, he's just not able to get things going here. I mean, the Alpine is not as good a car as our Williams was, but it's certainly better than this Williams is. Another yellow flag, someone else running wide. Who was that?
I think someone's run wide.
That was Alex Albon.
Let's take a closer look. Now look at this. It was the AlphaTauri driver involved. Goodness me.
Cost him a little bit of
racing line.
a little bit of time, but didn't lose a position. Did he damage his car on that curve? Big gap opening up now between Verstappen and Perez. But we've still got quite a long train here from Ricciardo, who is just out of Albon's range now with that little run wide from Albon. He's threatening to get on the back of him. Then Vettel, then Leclerc, who still hasn't been able to get past Vettel, then Bottas, and then Stroll. It's a big old little queue of traffic here. Let's stick with Leclerc again for a moment. We're into the pit window. Albon looking to start to re-establish his pace a little bit. He's slightly further ahead of Ricciardo than he was the last lap, an extra couple of tenths. Oh, and Gasly has finally got past Tsunoda. Oh, and Tsunoda goes straight back under braking. Oh my word. What a spin. I think that was a turn one spin. It was Latifi. Latifi has spun out. So that should really help Gasly now.
Let's see what happened there. Now let's look. We're watching Nicholas Latifi. What a spin!
So now Gasly should be able to get past Tsunoda without any real comeback. He'll have a better car, he'll have the DRS. Tsunoda will not have DRS to defend that because because Latifi is no longer in front of him. So we should now see Gasly get past and start to move up onto the two Aston Martins. And there we go, there's the dive up the inside. How quickly can he pull away from Tsunoda here? Magnussen and Alonso still swapping back and forth, but not really gaining any real time advantage by doing that. Oh, look how much gap he's opened up to Tsunoda already. Almost a second in just, a few corners there. That's the performance difference that he's been unable to use until now. So, running at this pace, we could try and convert to a one-stop, but I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to play the two-stop still, mainly because I still want to finish the race on softs, so we can guarantee a chance at the fastest lap. So I'm going to call Kevin in this lap as lead driver. In this race, he is obviously going to get priority.
And box now, box.
And we'll call Alonso in next lap. There we go. And Gasly, having finally pitted, having finally passed the Williams, now pits. Can't see what his tyres are like, unfortunately, but he won't have done them much favour, stuck in the DRS like that, or stuck in the dirty air. He's gone for another set of mediums, so he's going for an undercut here. He will easily clear the two Williams cars when they make their stops, and will probably clear the two Aston Martins as well. As Magnussen now swings into the pits. And so does Hamilton. Hamilton's boxing as well. Hamilton is going on to mediums. And here's Kevin. 3 seconds, that's not too bad for our pit crew. Albon into the pits, as is Vettel and Leclerc. Leclerc onto the mediums. Albon puts on a new set of mediums. And mediums for Vettel, who gets held behind Leclerc as Leclerc goes through there. Latifi boxes to get rid of his softs. And this is almost certainly going to be mediums as well. Yep, there we go. Gasly a mile ahead of those already. Now Alonso's into the pits. And Sainz is following us in as well. And I just see the pit crew getting ready for a Mercedes there. Another set of mediums for Sainz. 3-second pit stop. That's not too bad. Someone's locked up in sector 1. It's one of the Red Bulls. That's Verstappen.
Was that a lock-up on the track? We can take a look now. Now here we see Max Verstappen.
That's a
Well,
turn
they've
1
lost
lock-up,
it.
not turn
They've locked
16.
up.
It's just a little thing, but that bugs the crap out of me every time we get an incorrect corner number flash up for a warning there. Really hope they fix that. Right, so what's the gap between our two drivers? It is 1.2 seconds. Okay, let's see if Alonso can eke that back. What we'll do is, if he can't, we'll probably flip the order for the next round of pit stops and put Alonso in first. And that'll bring them back together again. And you can see Sainz in the background getting held up by Ricciardo, who's on hards, I think. Did I just see hards there? We see Russell and Verstappen's pitting as well. Russell in for mediums. And so is Verstappen going on to another set of mediums. So Russell managed to make those softs of his last a long time. And another flurry of activity in the pits here. Stroll, Norris, Ocon and Schumacher all diving in. Mediums for Stroll. Mediums for Ocon. Mediums for Norris, who is going to jump a few cars here. By the look, a lot of activity in the pits. Look, everyone's coming in. Bottas has gone on to new tyres. I can't see what they are yet. As S02 box as well, he's gone on to mediums. Schumacher is on mediums. Gasly goes through past Schumacher. So, as I predicted, his undercut has definitely worked there. S02 was on mediums. What's he gone on to? Another set of mediums, I think. Yes, and Perez will probably pit this lap. And he does indeed. So this will be another set of mediums for Perez, I think. So as you can see, everyone here is going to be going on to softs at the end, which is why I've decided to stick with the two-stop. Because we would risk not being able to get the fastest lap.
And Perez just pitted now.
And we want the bonus point. They all add up. Hamilton currently fastest on track. He's closing in on the battle between Sainz and Ricciardo. Is Ricciardo on hards? Did I see that correctly? He is. He is on hards. Zhou's gone on to hards. Oh, and they started on hards, so we had two hard tyre starters there. They must be going for a one-stop then. They must be going hard medium. So we're seeing a little bit of variation in the strategy. We've seen lots of two-stops, some starting on the softs, some starting on the mediums. Or they've all gone on to new mediums, so some are going to be finishing on mediums, some are going to be finishing on softs. And then we've got two drivers doing a one-stop strategy here, going hard to medium. Be interesting to see where they actually end up. Sainz is 4 seconds behind Alonso, who is falling further behind. So let's put Kevin into recharge mode.
And charge button on.
Because I've realised we haven't done that just yet. That should allow Alonso to close up, and then once he does, we'll tell him to sit behind and charge his battery. And then once that's done, we'll set them loose again. This is for position here, Leclerc against Zhou. Massive difference in car performance and also in tyre performance. Fresh mediums against very worn hards. 60% hards there. That's always going to be a straightforward pass. And Leclerc up to 9th now. What's the gap between Zhou and Gasly? Let's have a look. It's only, what, 12 and a half seconds between the two. So, yeah, Zhou's definitely going to come out way behind Gasly. Although he will have to get past him again, possibly, if Zhou is doing the one stop. He's losing a lot of time though. He's doing 124s, the rest of the field's doing 122s and 123s. Perez on his outlap, that's why he's looking slow there. Let's see what he does across the line. Oh, 122.9, yeah. Four-tenths the difference between our two drivers. That is what happens when you start recharging battery. There we go, the don't fight instruction issued. Ooh, did Alonso just drop out of range a second then? Yes, he did. Okay. Right, let's let him close right up then. Sight is getting closer. I think just to be safe, we should probably increase the tyre pace just a little bit here.
And push.
Got it.
Leclerc now fastest on track.
Will be charge button off, charge button off.
Copy that.
Just micromanaging the ERS deployment here. Saved a good chunk of fuel. That's encouraging. It means we won't have to actually go into fuel saving mode at any point this race. But we shouldn't have to. And upping the tyre pace has made us a little bit faster than Sainz. The gap has gone up slightly. Yellow flag in sector 1. I think someone just ran a little wide. Oh, a lock-up for Sonoda. Turn 12. That's not sector 1.
Now we see the Williams here. And
That's
yes,
sector 3.
that's the lock-up.
Ah, again, see, these little errors, they bug me.
The team are really disappointed.
It's just a little thing, but, you know. When something like that gets in my head, I can't let it go. It's just one of those unfortunate character traits of my autism. Alright, Alonso is now fully charged. So we'll remove the instruction to not fight. And we'll let them loose on each other again. I think we'd probably get punched if we told Alonso that he wasn't allowed to fight for the win at his home Grand Prix. I have no intention of being punched by an angry, 5'4" Spaniard. Okay, the gap to sights is stabilised. We're not lapping much in the way of extra speed. Oh, there we go. New fastest lap for Fernando. So we're lapping about the same pace as sights right now. Like I say, I would like to have run at the lowest pace setting, but we don't want to let that Ferrari get in close and get involved in the fight. This is a comfortable setting. If we need to, we can always go faster. We can reduce the pace a little bit as well if things start to drop off for Sainz. And we're still protecting the engine a little, so it's still potentially a viable engine for Monaco. We'll see what the AI does in Monaco pace. Again, what we'll probably do is just run the engine in Q1, see where we do in Q1, and then make a decision based on how the rest of the grid qualifies in that first session. Well, that's tomorrow's stream. We're focusing on this one here as Alonso has a look at the inside of Magnussen. Side by side through turn 3. And he swoops into the lead. Right, as we approach half distance, let's take a quick rundown of the grid. So Alonso leads Magnussen, those two swapping positions again. Sainz just over 3 seconds back, then Hamilton 6.5 seconds behind with Russell right on his heels. Another 4.5 seconds back to Verstappen, who's 4 seconds clear of Perez in 7th. Leclerc's fought his way back up to 8th now, after his lock-up on turn 4 earlier in the race. He's 6.7 seconds behind Perez. 7.5 seconds back is Albon in 9th. Bottas just about a second behind him in 10th is the last of the current point scorers. Ricciardo just behind, just over a second outside of DRS range in 11th. Then Ocon 3 seconds back in 12th. Recovered a little bit from his earlier spin. Norris right behind him in 13th. He also had a moment earlier where he locked up, I think, or did he spin? No, he ran wide at the end of the lap. Vettel and Stroll and Gasly, who has recovered up to 16th and now stuck again from his earlier spin. That is our running order from 13th through to 16th. Then 17th, a long way back now, 16.5 seconds to Schumacher. He's pulled out a gap of 5.5 seconds up to Zhou in 18th. And then another 4 seconds back is Latifi and Tsunoda, who are running nose to tail. That is your current running order. How you doing, Taylor? Good to see you. Do we have any battles that we can keep an eye on? Well, we've got this one. Norris trying to get past Ocon. We've also got Albon has been caught by Bottas, actually. Let's keep an eye on this, see if Bottas has got the pace to get ahead. Disappointing qualifying for both of the Alfa Romeos. Can they recover and score some points here in the race? We've got the two Mercedes running nose to tail as well. So we'll check in on them in a moment. When you say had potential to be a good game, Mr. Water, I'm taking you mean it isn't a good game. Yeah, I'm always very wary of games like that. The premise sounds good, but then you see it in action, it's just like, oh, this is not good. And there we go. Yeah, Bottas sweeps past Albon. Can he stay ahead, or will Albon retake that position? Let's keep an eye on the leaderboard to check on that as we move up to 4th. Hamilton and Russell. Has potential. Okay. So it's a bit of a rough diamond at the moment. Needs some polish.
At the moment, we are the fastest car on track.
Magnussen retakes the lead and sets the fastest lap. We haven't lapped anybody yet. But we are coming up to the back of the two Williams drivers. I wouldn't mind seeing a safety car in this race. I want to see cars unlap themselves into the safety car with the new update yesterday. I've yet to see it yet. I started a new McLaren file last night. Got rid of my old ones and started a new one. And I actually managed to get Norris up into 5th in the first race. Just timing the overtakes right. I think I got 10th and fastest lap with Ricciardo. Maybe 9th and fastest lap. I think it was 9th actually. So I currently sit P3 in the Constructors after one race, and I did Jeddah right before this event here, and I only managed 11th and 12th. Definitely harder to overtake with the reductions to DRS, especially at Jeddah. But no safety cars in either races. So again, I've yet to see any unlapping yet. What console am I playing on? Yeah, PS5. Let's go back to our two drivers. Side still hanging on in there. think Verstappen might actually be catching the two Mercedes. Let's take a look at the last lap times. See, Russell's slightly quicker because he's getting DRS to overtake. And then the next lap, Hamilton should be slightly quicker if he can get an overtake done. Verstappen's raw pace on his own is pretty good. I think he will end up catching the two Mercedes here. And they can see Sainz's raw pace is pretty quick as well. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that gap between Verstappen and Hamilton. Verstappen and the Mercedes. It's what, 3.5 seconds now? Another lock-up. What was that for?
Seems to have been a lock-up.
Oh,
Let's
it's
have
Joe.
a look. So this was the Aston Martin. And this, yes, there, that's the lock-up. That's going to be a big blow to the team.
Doesn't have any real impact on the race, but it does drop him right in front of the two Williams cars. They've caught him, so that's now a three-way fight for last place, which S02 is currently winning. And we are closing in on the three of them. Yeah, Verstappen is definitely closing. Gap 3.2 as we come towards the end of the lap for them. So the Mercedes doesn't quite have the pace of the Red Bulls, or at least the Verstappen. We know that Verstappen is definitely quicker than Perez. Is Leclerc catching Perez? He should be. Let's have a look. They're both in clear air, no DRS to help them. Yeah, he's 0.4 of a second faster, so he'll be on him in a few laps. At current pace, he'll be within striking range in about 7 laps. Another yellow flag in sector. Oh, we got a safety car. Just as we were about to lap somebody, we got a safety car. Ah, that's annoying. Okay. We're going to pit for our softs now. We can make them stretch. You can see the pit window. We were supposed to be pitting in 8 laps time, but the way we've been protecting the tyres, we can do that now.
There's been contact and several cars involved. Here's the replay. Daniel Ricciardo involved here.
Oh, that's clumsy. That's so clumsy.
There. Oh, there's chaos on the track.
That's going to be a penalty in the next race as well. Albon is out, but he's going to have a 3-place penalty in the next Grand Prix.
So there was a crash.
Copy that.
So we bring both our cars in. Let's see if anyone else pits. This is something else that's been changed as well. Is the window, the tyre wear window for the AI has been increased, so that they will consider pitting earlier under safety car. We can see the pit crew out for McLaren. That's going to be for Ricciardo. He's going to have some damage. He's going to have to change his front wing. Nobody else is going to pit at the moment though. And we're going to have a little bit of work to do when we come out the pits. I think we're going to come out behind Perez here. At least with Alonso anyway. Ooh, it's close. I think we're just going to get him. We are. That is important. You see there's a lot of new content for Skylines now. Yeah, I actually downloaded a couple of bits a couple of days ago. I downloaded the map pack, the bridges pack, and there was a third pack I downloaded as well. I can't remember which one that one is now. But I have actually been playing a little bit of City Skylines again. I still need to get that final trophy for the Platinum. I still need to get the Happy Town trophy. So I'm going to try and achieve that in my spare time. And if I rediscover my enjoyment for the game, I might even bring it back to the channel. We'll see. Okay, so we are easily going to sort out the fuel deficit here. That's not going to be an issue at all for the rest of the race. We might even be able to burn a little bit of fuel a little bit later. We're going to have much better tyres than everyone in front of us for a while. But this might allow some drivers to actually convert onto a... Ricardo's gone onto softs. Ricardo joining us on softs. I don't know if he'll be able to make those last. He might be able to. They might be a bit hot garbage at the end, but yeah, some of these guys might well convert their 2 stops into 1 stops. There are some that can't though. Some went medium, so are going to have to stop again. Sainz is one of them. The 2 Mercedes did start on softs. They are going to have to make another stop. I can't remember about Verstappen. Let's take a look at the tyre history. So Sainz has to stop again. So does Max. Perez, Bottas, Norris, Ocon, Stroll, Gasly, Schumacher, Tsunoda. All those drivers have to stop again because they've only used 1 compound of tyres. Everyone else could theoretically go to the end here. I don't know if they will, but you know, they could on paper. And we were so close to seeing cars being able to unlap themselves into safety car. We just needed 3 or 4 more laps to lap those back markers, to lap the Williams and the... Actually, no, I would have pitted. They would have been free anyway. But yeah, it's a shame. We were so close to finding out, you know, seeing lap cars actually try and unlap themselves. And we didn't quite get anyone lapped before the car came out.
Safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap.
Okay, so a big gap between Joe and the safety car train. They'll close it down a bit more because they're still running at a higher pace until we cross the line, but yeah, they're going to be a long way off. Okay, seeing as we have a tyre advantage, we are going to leave them in the lowest setting for now. We know that a few of the cars in front, Sainz and Verstappen, are going to have to pit again. As Magnussen's actually going side by side with Verstappen right now.
Continue, keep going.
And there we go, up the inside, taking advantage of that extra grip. So there's no point pushing just yet. We want to save the life of the tyres as soon as we've pitted early.
HAAS with an overtake. overtake.
These softs will wear out faster than the mediums in front of us, but the only ones we have to really worry about racing right now are the two Mercedes. Like I said, everyone else in this little fight is going to have to pit again. What about Leclerc? I think Leclerc, well, he's at tyres at 67%, they might not go the distance. He might just pit just because of wear rate.
P4. Good job.
HAAS with an overtake there.
So that's two safety cars I've had now since the patch went live. This one here, and then the other one was on a test game I did with my Ferrari file straight after the patch went live. And then that one, there were lapped cars. It was at Zandvoort, but there were only 6 laps left in the race, and we just spent the entire 6 laps behind the safety car. No one unlapped themselves, maybe because it was so close to the end of the race, I don't know, but yeah, the whole race just stayed behind the safety car to the checkered flag. So I've yet to see unlapping, you know, behind a safety car or in general yet.
Red Bull gained a place.
DRS enable.
Verstappen's still hanging on in there. He's not done yet. Now he is. Kevin looking at the back of Russell. Sainz pulling out a lead over Hamilton. But we know he has to pit. And that's probably going to happen in the next 5 laps at the most. Yellow flag in sector 2, that's Vettel.
Looks like there's been a lock-up. Let's take a closer look. Taking a look again, it involves Sebastian Vettel. It's a lock-up.
Straight to the gravel.
That could be costly. The team are devastated. They'll be questioning just what happened out there.
Is that another lock-up? Or is that a warning? It is, it's Latifi now.
Let's see what happened there. Now let's look. We're watching Nicholas Latifi. Well, they've locked up. They won't have been happy about that.
So 22 laps to go, including this one. Let's take a look at our strategy window. So if we do push the tyres at normal pace, then they will be just below 30% by the end. We're going to go to this pace as our guideline, because that's the engine mode we're probably going to end up running. There we go. So we've got... oh, I didn't save it for Fernando. There we go. So we've got a slight indication. Another yellow flag.
I think there's been a lock-up.
It's Bottas.
Take a look now. Now we see Valtteri Bottas. Oh, and there's the lockup. That's the last thing they'll have wanted.
That's the same thing that happened to the other Alpha.
And that was a bit...
Alright, now it's time for us to start thinking about trying to find a way through. I'm going to actually start using some battery here. And I'm going to up the tyre pace slightly for both drivers.
So we need to push.
Copy.
While we have this grip advantage, we want to try and take advantage of it. Can we sneak through? Nope. Let's save the battery on Alonso's cars, no point wasting it here. Magnussen I'm going to put into overtake. And there we go, around the outside into turn 10. Completes the move and is immediately on the back of Hamilton. Another yellow flag in sector 3.
Keep working like this.
Let's have a look. Okay, so there
That's
we have
Ocon's
the
second
Alpine.
spin of the Grand Prix.
They lose it there. That's the spin.
I think it's where he spun last time as well.
Such high hopes today.
Not a good race for Ocon, and Russell into the pits. Magnussen is already through, with Russell moving out the way. Hamilton all over the back of him. So Russell, Leclerc, Vettel and Latifi all in the pits. Let's see, Russell has gone on to soft tyres, as has Leclerc. Those two are going to be fast. Let's try and get Alonso past Hamilton nice and quickly here. So that to me suggests that Hamilton's going to pit as well. Is he going to dive in this lap? Yes, he is. So Hamilton's going to go on to set the softs. So it looks like none of the two stoppers, or at least none of the prominent two stoppers, are going to convert to the one stop. Now we need to catch back up to Magnussen and break away from Verstappen in the process. So we'll leave the battery on deployment for now. Magnussen on the back of Sainz now, who definitely has to pit. He's only run medium tyres so far this Grand Prix, so we might see Sainz coming in at the end of this lap. Russell has stayed ahead of Hamilton, and crucially they've both got out ahead of Leclerc as well. And Sainz does indeed pit, as expected. Alonso has killed his battery. But sets a new fastest lap in the process.
And Sainz just pitted now.
Verstappen also, Verstappen in for new tyres as well, as is
And
Bottas.
Charge button on, charge button on.
Copy.
There goes Norris on his new tyres. Stroll's got out on new softs. Norris is on softs. Schumacher, Tsunoda. Ocon also pitting for new softs. So it's just Perez and Zhou, the only drivers who have yet to stop for new tyres, and that's probably going to happen this lap. And crucially, Ricciardo, Sainz, Russell, Hamilton, Leclerc and Verstappen and Gasly did not have new soft tyres to put on, whereas Norris, Stroll, Bottas, Schumacher, Tsunoda, Latifi did have brand new softs. We've got another yellow flag as Perez pits.
That sounds like someone's gone wide there.
Vettel
Let's
with
take a look at the
another
replay.
lockup at
Taking a look
the
again, it
chicane
involves
here.
Sebastian
Or
Vettel
running
way
wide
off the
this time.
racing line there. That isn't good.
A lot of repeat mistakes here. That's two mistakes for Vettel. Percentage of Perez's tyres, they should be in the 80s. Another yellow flag, and that's a Ferrari. That's Sainz, I think. Oh, 91% for
That's a
Perez.
spin. Here's the replay. Let's have another look.
So Sainz
is the
pushing on
focus
those
here.
new tyres of his, well,
And yes, that's where they spin out.
nearly new, and just pushes too hard into the first turn.
The team are really disappointed.
So we now have a healthy lead over Ricciardo, of all drivers.
Should slow down.
Is now in third place. And, you know, he was stopped at the same lap as we did. Obviously, we're running a lower pace than he is. But can he make those tyres last to the end? He's got another 16 laps to go after this one. But he's on for a podium here. Look at the gap. He's got a 15-second lead over Russell at the moment. Could Ricciardo hang on for a mighty third place? That would be amazing if he can. That would be absolutely incredible. I'd love to see that. I really would. Ricciardo is out of contract with McLaren at the end of this season. Is he going to sign for them again, or is he going to move to a different team? And if he doesn't sign for them, who's going to take his place? Could be Alonso if we get rid of Alonso, or Magnussen if we get rid of Magnussen. Depends what seats are going to be out there, I suppose. As Zhou finally pits from fourth. I'm surprised. I thought he had the the ability to go for the one stop with his hard start onto mediums, but he is going for a two stop. It's going to drop him way down the order. Is he going to get out ahead of Vettel? Oh, Vettel's just going to sweep around him. He's got brand new tyres now. That'll help. And Vettel's got God knows what damage was on the floor after those two excursions into the gravel. Alright, we're back in engine and tyre protection mode. Thanks to Sainz throwing himself off the track. Another yellow flag. So many mistakes. It's another Alpine mistake.
Someone spun out.
Gasly again
Take a
spinning
look
at turn
now.
10.
Now look at this. It's Pierre Gasly. Look at that. They've spun their car.
That's 3 mistakes for Gasly in this race now.
That's going to be a
The
big
Alpine
blow
is
to the-
really struggling for whatever reason at the moment. 2 mistakes for Ocon, 3 mistakes for Gasly. The Alfa Romeo obviously has some issues as well. We've seen mistakes from Bottas and Vettel. And Hamilton 13 seconds now. 13 and a half seconds behind Ricciardo. They are closing him down. Let's take a look at the last lap. Actually, they're lapping about the same pace here. I think Ricciardo might, if his tyres hold on, Ricciardo might well have enough pace in the car to actually hang on for 3rd place here. It is just a question of tyre life now. And you can see he's got the worst tyre wear on the grid because he did pit at the same time as us. And we've been protecting our tyres. Will they last another 13 laps? We've got an interesting fight forming here as Leclerc and Verstappen have both caught the 2 Mercedes. Let's keep an eye on board with... Let's actually ride on board with Verstappen so we can watch this all unfolding in front of us. Leclerc has finished every race so far in 3rd place. I don't think that's going to happen tonight. It depends. If he can get past both of these Mercedes, straight away, he'll have time to try and hunt down Ricciardo because I think he's going to have more pace. And it'll be close. He might be able to get on the back of him, and if he can get on the back of him, he can probably pass him. But I don't think he's going to be able to pull it off. I think he's going to be stuck in the midst of this battle here for a while. Oh, and there goes one of the Mercedes. Did Russell damage his car?
And that's a lockup.
Don't think he did.
Let's see what happened there. Now, just watch the Mercedes here. That lockup could have cost them
No, he
dearly.
kept it out the wall. but that has dropped Russell off the back of this queue, and I don't think he'll have the pace to catch up. And now, ironically, Leclerc has got the opportunity to pass and break away from Hamilton here. Hamilton no longer has DRS in front of him. Ferrari's slot gap is open. It's lining up the move. It's going to have a go into turn 1. Swoops on through. And now there's a very real risk of a threat to Ricciardo here. It's got 12 seconds on Leclerc right now. It just depends how much quicker Leclerc can go now that he's in front. Well, he's only closed the gap by about 0.7 of a second. That's not enough yet. But actually, no, he's 1.2 seconds faster on the last lap because he made that DRS overtake. If he stays ahead at the end of this lap, we'll be able to get a much better judge of the pace difference between Ricciardo and Leclerc. Can Leclerc keep that streak going of 6 and get third places in a row? Okay, 121.6 for Ricciardo, a 120.9 for Leclerc, so he's nearly 0.7 of a lap faster. I don't think he's going to have enough laps left. Especially if Hamilton keeps getting involved like that. I think Ricciardo is safe. We could be watching the battle between our two drivers, but this is probably the more exciting battle here, the more impactful battle. We will switch back to Alonso and Magnussen towards the end for the last lap or two, but we want to keep an eye on this because this is going to determine, you know, 3 great drivers, 3 big teams, and also whether or not they can actually work together and hunt down a podium. And at the moment they're hurting each other, not helping each other. We've had another lockup. Who's locked up this time? It's one of the Williams cars. It's Sonoda, I think. Yeah,
Oh, big lock up there.
a lock up for Sonoda. The gap now finally under 10 seconds to Ricciardo, but there's only 7 laps to go after this lap. It's not going to be enough. Looks like the Honey Badger is going to get himself onto the podium here. Much needed points for both him and McLaren. Norris is back in 10th, recovered a little bit after his wobble earlier in the race. It's ironic really that collision between Albon and Ricciardo has actually helped Ricciardo. He had to pit for a replacement nose when Albon clipped him and took himself out of the Grand Prix at the same time. But Ricciardo boxing when he did and going onto soft tyres has enabled him to leapfrog a lot of cars after they made their pit stops, and he's had the pace on those softs to keep him far enough ahead of this battle. Another failed attempt at overtaking for Alonso there. There's quite a few of those in this race. As Leclerc is going to retake 4th place from Hamilton here. 6 laps left. And look how much fuel we've got to spare now because of that safety car. Alonso with a little bit more because he's been running in the slipstream of Magnussen for longer than the other way round.
And 5 laps to go.
Right, so we know that these two are not going, or these three are not going to be able to challenge Ricciardo. So let's go back to the battle at the front. Can Alonso win his home Grand Prix? It's going to come down to who gets a pass at the right time. I think whoever starts the final lap, either in the lead or making the overtake, is going to win the Grand Prix. If whoever's leading can defend into turn 1, I think they'll win. Whoever gets the overtake into turn 1 at the start of the final lap is going to get the win. So I don't think they'll be able to make the move on the run up to turn 10. They might be able to, but we've seen that it's harder to overtake there than it is on the main straight. Perez has not had a great race all weekend. He's down in 9th at the moment. He's stuck behind Sainz. If anything, he's probably being pulled along a little bit by Sainz. Is Sainz going to catch Russell in the remaining 3.5 laps? Let's take a look at the pace. Sainz did a 1:21.1. Russell did a 1:21.4. 0.3 of a second. What's the gap? 2 seconds, 2.3 seconds. Ah, yeah, but he might just get DRS range before the end of the race. That could be enough. Again, Magnussen is holding back Alonso here. Ricciardo's tyres definitely starting to fall away now. The gap's down to 7 seconds, but it still isn't going to be enough, I don't think, unless they dramatically fall off in pace over the next 2 laps. I think Ricciardo's pretty much home and hosed. Sainz down 2 seconds behind Russell. I don't think he's going to catch him. I think he's just going to stay behind him. It's going to be close though. If he can get DRS on the main straight at the start of the final lap, he's got a chance.
Then it will be 2 laps.
Alonso sweeps ahead. Can he hold it? Magnussen coming back up the inside of turn 3. This is famously where Rosberg and Hamilton crashed into each other. No such dramas for us here. Is Alonso on the inside? Yes, he is. There he is. Here we go, final lap. This is going to be crucial. Like I said, if Alonso can defend into turn 1 and keep the lead, he might win. He might well win. If Magnussen gets through, I think he might win. Alonso's going to have a gap. Magnussen is going to squeeze through. There is still one real, opportunity left, and that is into turn 10. Is Kevin going to deny the Spaniard his home win? Hamilton gets back past Leclerc. Sainz too far away from Russell. So Russell's probably going to finish in P7. Ricciardo's tyres really started to struggle now. He lost a lot of time on that last lap, but it's still not going to be enough. Alonso just can't get onto the back of Magnussen. I think Kevin has just won this race, and that's going to extend his lead at the top of the championship. Alonso will hang on to the fastest lap. But we're starting to see a momentum shift in the team now. They were neck and neck after 4 races. Kevin came out top at Miami, and now he's going to come out top here at Barcelona as well,
checkered flag,
and extend his lead in the championship.
You guys have done.
And Magnussen takes home the win.
Is this the point, the turning point in the season, where Magnussen goes on to to take the Drivers' Championship. There's a long way to go yet. There's still 16 more races to go. Anything can happen. Retirements, crashes, spins. But in terms of the psychological blow that Magnussen has dealt here, that's a big one. Ricciardo hangs on for third place. Honey Badger back on the podium. Great result for McLaren there. Mercedes hold fourth with Hamilton, Leclerc fifth, Verstappen sixth, Russell seventh, Sainz eighth, Perez ninth, and a double points finish for McLaren as Norris brings it home in 10th. Good race for them. Good points for them. That'll be 16 points for McLaren at the end of this Grand Prix. And that'll be crucial for their World Championship.
Kevin Magnussen showing us how it's done. A great result. Imagine how chuffed they must be. A podium is a real feat, and it's been accomplished in style. Well, the Dane had a very impressive race, really delivering when the pressure was on. A lovely occasion as we see all three drivers clearly relishing their moments on the podium. HAAS there having a very successful day at the races.
Yes, there's definitely cause for celebration here. This team can take anything that's thrown at them and come through even stronger.
After an intense weekend, the team ends in first place in the constructor standings.
For the next Grand Prix, make sure you join us at the renowned city circuit of Monaco. Prepare yourselves for one of the most legendary rounds of the season.
So there we go, there is the official result. 8 places gained for Ricciardo. What a great race he had in the end. Like I said, I think he was actually helped quite considerably by getting hit by Albon there, getting his pit stop out of the way during the safety car. Enabled him to leapfrog several cars and then hold position at the end. Disappointing race for Charles Leclerc. He misses out on the podium. That ends his streak of 5 consecutive third places. He can't make it 6. We take a look further down. Good result for Lando, gaining 2 places and a point. 4 places gained for Bottas after a terrible qualifying for him. Stroll doing quite well, gaining 4 spots. Zhou improving. A nightmare result for Alpine. Both drivers losing 5 places from their starting spot. Gasly with 3 mistakes, Ocon with 2 mistakes. Again, a poor race for Vettel, 2 big mistakes for him. Failed to improve from a dismal qualifying. A lot of wasted points opportunities for Alfa Romeo in this Grand Prix here, especially with all the mistakes we saw from other drivers as well. Schumacher improves, Latifi improves, Tsunoda improves, well, stays where he is, and Albon looking good until that lockup, a big crash for him. Into the Drivers' Championship, once again, Kevin, win number 4 for him now this season. Fernando gets his 4th fastest lap of the season, his 4th second place of the season. The gap has opened up to 8 points between those two. No, sorry, 12 points. Can't add up today. Evening, Anthony. You've joined us at the worst possible time because we're pretty much done for the night. But yeah, Alonso unfortunately unable to win his home Grand Prix. Kevin just able to hold him off. Leclerc holds on to 3rd in the standings, but again, a disappointing race for him. Sainz only picking up 4 points, sees the gap to Verstappen shrink to just 1 point now. Big result for Lewis, 12 points, brings him back into contention with Max and moves him above of Sergio Perez, who drops to 7th. picking up just 2 points. Russell with 6 points brings him back into contention with Perez as well. And Ricciardo gets his first points of the season with a mighty 3rd place. That immediately jumps him up to 10th in the drivers' standings. And there is Lando picking up his point as well. In the constructors, maximum points again for HAAS, 264. That's 44 points a race for all 6 races now. Ferrari, disappointing race for them. The gap now 129 points already. That is huge. Again, disappointing, as we said, for Red Bull. Only 83 points total for them. Mercedes closed the gap to 8 points with their nice haul of points. Alpine throwing away point scoring opportunities with both their drivers. They stay in 5th, no change for them. McLaren now, mighty result for them, sees them move up to 6th, just 3 points off Alpine. And again, disappointing result for Alfa Romeo, who could have scored points but didn't, and that big crash ruined any chance that AlphaTauri had of scoring points when Albon went into the barrier. So, development point for Logan after his run in practice. No points for either of our other 2 drivers. Impressive result for Fernando. Exceptional for Magnussen, who was very, very stalwart in his defence today. Alonso spent a lot of time in 2nd trying to find a way through but couldn't. And we pay out Kevin's usual 440,000 bonus. In terms of sponsors, we achieve all of our incentives. We complete our quali streak for an extra 360,000. It wasn't that big a streak. In terms of our guarantees, we keep our guarantees and we keep our our finish streak going. That still has another race or 2 to go yet. Our suspension is done. We now have a spare suspension. Let's take a look at our inbox. The board could not be happier that it led the team to victory. Not just victory, but a 1-2. Michael gives us a breakdown of the report of the race. We complete our scouting on Jason Pryor and Christopher Hayes, the 2 McLaren mechanics. So we've got some more scouting to do. We'll come back to that in a minute. There's that spare suspension done. Let's scooch on over to drivers and allocate our point on Logan. We're going to put that into cornering. That boosts his overall rating up to 74 now, and we've seen his pace is close to both Fernando and to Kevin. So yeah, he's definitely going to be ready next season. We're going to continue to work on his pace stats a little bit, and then when I get these up to 85 each, we will start working on his smoothness, get that up to 60, and once we've done that, we'll then work on his control. What about our staff? Resta is 2 weeks away. Jared Murphy is again 2 weeks away. Our engineers a long way off, getting more points. Let's check out our pit crew. Got their tyre change up to 57 now. Still needs some work to do. We're averaging about 3 seconds on the pit stop, so we've got a lot of work to do to get that down even more. Let's go to our facilities. We are upgrading the team hub, which is good because it needs it. It's actually in decline right now. Suspension simulator upgrade is going through. We've got 6 million in the bank, so we can't do a car development upgrade. Our race simulator is freshly refurbed, so we're not going to have to worry about that for a while. Scouting department is up to 3 scouts. Might drop another upgrade on there. Let's take a look at our operational facilities. We've got some refurbing to do at some point this season, but I'm going to leave those as they are for now. helipad. We've got another couple of weeks, I think, before we need to start think about our refurb there. The weather centre is about to dip, so we're going to go ahead and drop an upgrade on the weather centre. Let's see, did I start a new project for the car? I can't remember. Yes, I did. We started another underfloor project. Okay. I didn't remember doing that. Let's take a look at our warehouse in terms of spare parts. We don't need to worry about any new spare parts. We've still got enough to get us through. Hopefully we don't do anything stupid in Monaco. Car analysis. We were going to take a look at the Mercedes because we didn't do it at the start of the Grand Prix. They are lacking in top speed. Their cornering's pretty good. That puts them in pretty good shape going into Monaco, I think. What's the actual difference to us? You can see quite a bit in terms of speed. It's the cornering where the difference is quite significant, as you can see. 5 to 6% difference in dirty air cornering, and a fair bit in G-force as well. Let's see what the actual physical breakdown is between us and Ferrari. Again, not as big a difference, but a pretty significant difference in terms of cornering and dirty air percentages and cornering G-forces. The biggest difference though, the brakes. Look at that. Nearly 9% difference in brake cooling. Ferrari are potentially running a risk of locking up into a barrier at Monaco if they put a mod on the car that's going to increase its pace. Right, because we've got no upgrades due to drop anytime soon and we've still got 4 million, I am going to go ahead and upgrade our scouting facilities again. There we go. That still leaves us with 2 million in the bank. Let's look at doing some scouting. So my scouting team is up to 3. That's good. I didn't know if I'd hired the extra one or not. So do I still have a scout out there? Not in there. Not in here. There we go. We're scouting Rami Dolan. 4 days to go. I'm going to wait 4 days and then we'll get all 3 scouts running at the same time. It's just easier to keep track of them when they're all coming in at the same time. Scouting is 57 days away, so it'll be 2 sets of scouting before we can do our 4th scout. There's the preview for Monaco. Let's check in with the board. Delighted, as you would expect, on terms of race results, especially since the beginning of this season, where we've just dominated so far. Objectives, last season got both of them done, and we have already achieved this season's long-term objective with 6 podium finishes, or 6 races with a podium finish. We've done that in all 6 races so far, so we've already achieved our long-term objective, and we're well on target for achieving our current season objective as well. There is the scouting on Rami Dolan. I want to have a look at this guy's stats. His side pods are terrible, but his other stats are pretty good. Front wing's good, his rear wing's very good. Underfloor's not amazing. Suspension's good. Chassis needs some work, but his side pod rating is, yeah, pretty terrible. But he's only 37 years old. He could be a good signing for AlphaTauri there. They might have some issues with engine cooling going forward, but you know they're going to be good with downforce, with those wing settings, and the suspension will help with their brake cooling as well. Yeah, that could be a good acquisition for them. Right, let's scout some race engineers. Yeah, at Ferrari. That just looks weird. Seeing him in a Ferrari shirt. So used to seeing him in a Williams shirt on our career file there. There's our race prep from Javier. Financial report is fine. Monthly car development looks pretty strong. Engine cooling has dipped a little bit. Brake cooling is in need of a little bit of improvement. Our suspension simulator is in poor condition, but it is going through an upgrade. We knew that that dip was coming, which is why we started the upgrade. So that'll resolve itself in a month's time. Speaking of suspension, am I working on one? No, I'm not. So that might be the next upgrade that we do, is to do a new suspension upgrade, just to give our brakes a little bit more oomph. We'll probably do a new front wing for the same reason. I think I held off on doing the suspension because I knew that the suspension simulator was going to dip like that. So yeah, front wing will be the very next upgrade that we start, and then when that's done in a month's time, that's when we'll do a new suspension. So it's what, 28 days, and that'll be when the underfloor finishes. So when the underfloor finishes, that's when we'll do a new suspension. When the side pods finish, we'll probably do a new front wing, and we may look at doing a rear wing as well when the chassis finishes. We'll see. I might potentially, based on the regulations, because I can't remember what those changes are, we may look at doing our first research project. So that is everything done for tonight. Another dominant 1-2 win for us, and we managed to get through it pretty comfortably using the older engine as well, which gives me hope that we can maybe use those engines in Monaco as well. We won't know just how competitive they're going to be until we get to Q1, and then if we're not topping the timings or close to the top of the timings, then we may switch out for new engines for Q2 onwards. We'll see how we do, but that's tomorrow night's stream. As for tonight, I hope you've enjoyed the race. It's been good. We've seen a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes from drivers tonight. We've seen a safety car, but unfortunately nobody was lapped at the time, so we couldn't see anyone on lap ourselves. If we are going to see that on camera, it's going to be at Monaco. Drivers are going to get lapped. It is a circuit where a safety car is a very high probability, so we may actually see cars unlapping themselves once we go to Monaco tomorrow. So until then, thanks for watching. I'm Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more F1 Manager very soon.